Good afternoon. This is Debbie Broughton, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Robert, Missouri. I am hopping on just like 2 minutes early so I can fix my camera. Let's see if that helps. We're just a little bit crooked today. I always have to fix it the wrong way first. Now it's really crooked. So let's see what this does. Maybe just a little bit more. There we go. If you're joining me this afternoon to make a card with me, shoot me a comment underneath this video so that I can know someone's watching. It's always fun to see who's watching and what part of the country you're from. I'm located like in South Central Missouri, right outside Fort Leonard Wood, in the Ozarks. We have a beautiful day here. We had so much rain a couple of weeks ago, but now it seems to actually be turning to spring, although they say cold weather's coming again this weekend. So we will just have to see. Well, my laptop says 1 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today we're going to make this lovely buckle card. You know how sometimes when you make these kind of folds, they don't want to lay down flat when they're laying down? Well, this takes care of that. You have this little cute buckle here that you can open, and then opens the rest of your card. And they are so easy to make. And so easy to put together. I noticed here, you have to put a pencil mark. And I noticed I forgot to erase my pencil mark. And you can, it's kind of like glaring up at me now. So let me find my eraser here. Of course, when I want my eraser, it's not where it should be. There's just a little bit of an eraser left on this pencil, so I'll see if I can use that. If not, I'll wait till later and search for my eraser. Or put a gem here. That doesn't really want to erase it very good. There we go. Okay. Now that we fixed that, we can move on. So I made this one in Pretty in Pink with last April. If we made our sales for the month of April, we, as demonstrators, received a free package of this Pretty in Pink DSP. So I used some of that on this card, and then I used some of the in color gems and a sparkly butterfly and some ribbon. So let's see how to make one. So this one I have all the pieces cut out. The next one we're going to make, I'll cut out the pieces with you. So I have my measurements laying here, so I just have to kind of look at them because I don't always remember them exactly from my memory. Okay, so here is our card. We're going to use this pretty vellum that's in the mini catalog for January to the end of April. It's just so pretty. So that's what, and we're going to use Lemon Lolly as our coordinating color and Old Olive as the base and the buckle. Because there's the leaves are Old Olive. So first we're going to start with an 8.5 by 5.5 card base, and then we're going to do some folding. So first we're going to fold, we're going to score it at 4 1/4 and 1.5. And we're going to fold it at the 4 1/4 mark, which is just folding it in half like a normal card base. I always like to do my folding and creasing at the beginning so that when I'm ready to glue everything on there, it'll be ready. So I'm going to fold this piece, if I can get a hold of it, back. And that's going to form this flap. And see how it kind of wants to pop up? Well, we're going to solve that with our buckle. So let's get started. This is our inside. This piece, this lemon lolly piece is 4 by 5 1/4. Then we have our white to write our greeting and things on. And this is 3 3/4 by 5. So we can go ahead and glue that down. I just thought maybe we'll get finished here with all the gluing and then we can start putting it together. So there we go. This one will glue on here. I did pretty good at getting that straight. Okay, then next we have the front 2 panels, which is this piece and this piece of the lemon lolly. And we're going to put this DSP right on the top. Now, this time, I don't want to put any adhesive behind the clear part of this vellum. I want to hide it behind the flowers or behind the leaves. And you might want to look because one side of the vellum is much more brighter than the other side, in my opinion. This is kind of a duller side. So that's the back. And I'm just going to put a little drop of glue here in this flower, in this leaf, in this flower, this leaf, and this leaf, and maybe a little bit right there. Vellum is a very light paper, so it's not going to take a lot to have it stay stuck down. And we're going to layer it on here with our border. Now, if you wanted to, you could make your border much smaller by doing this in 1/8 instead of 4ths. I like to do 4ths because I just need a bigger border. So there's our lemon lolly for the flap. Now we'll get this one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn it over to the duller side. And we're going to put some drops in this flower, this leaf, this flower. A little bit behind that flower. And we're going to try to get just a little drop right here in each corner. And we're going to lay this on this layer. Again, we have a 1/4 of an inch. Be careful because it slides very easily. We have a 1/4 of a piece, a 1/4 of a border around, all the way around. Actually, it's 1/8 because it's a 1/4 altogether, so 1/8 on each side. Okay, so I realized what I forgot to do, and now I'm already so far into this, I don't know if I can change it. Let me see. I forgot to cut the slit. So just let me see if I can maybe gently pull this up since it's not glued in a lot of different places. We shall see. Okay. Got a little carried away with my gluing. So, we're going to lay this on here. This is how I decide where I want to put my slit. And I use the label die out of the Beautiful Butterfly, the smallest label die, which is this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this here. We kind of measure it where it's going to be. And I'm not going to press too hard because I have glue on the back to hold that down. And then I'm going to take my buckle here and say that my buckle is right there. This is going to come over just a little bit more, I think. I'm going to end up gluing my card shut or open. Because I want to decide where my buckle is going to be and exactly where I should put my slit. So I want to slip this underneath the back of this. And I want to bring it over here. And so I think that I want to put the bottom of my label. I'm going to get out my pencil again. One good thing about it, my mark will be on the back this time and it won't show it off. So I'm just going to put that little pencil mark there so I know where to put the die. And I'm going to come over here to my machine and cut it out. I'm going to put a little post-it note on it to hold it in place. And there we go. I don't bring my cut and emboss machine over here because it shakes my camera and then everything kind of gets off kilter. So I just have it on the table next to me here. So now I could place this onto my flap, onto my lemon lolly mat, and then onto the card. So we're just going to add glue again because I'm sure I got most of the glue off by pulling it up and cutting it on the machine. We're just going to go ahead and dot again the same flowers we dotted last time. This little leaf and this flower here. We want to remember we want the slit on the outside. So to the left, when you lay it down. Okay, now we're kind of ready to put this together. We have all the pieces glued that we want to. So the next thing we're going to glue is we're going to glue this piece in place. So we kind of want it to be, you know, in the middle where it's going to reach our slit. So I kind of just laid this here to be sure again where I want the buckle to go. So I want it to go right about here. So I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put some glue right here on this tab. Now if you wanted to, you could have put your tab here in between the white and the lemon lolly. But then you have like this green, this old olive spot right there. So I just put it on the back. But you could have done that. Now we're going to put this piece in. So this goes on the inside here. We're just going to kind of put it in there straight. We're going to bring this piece over. This is our flap piece. I'm not sure this paper has an up or down to it, but if yours is directional, you want to be sure that you put it on there correctly. There we go. Then we're going to glue this piece down. Have an even border all around. See now all your border, these two borders kind of meet. The one on the inside kind of meets too. It's just harder to see because it's a different color with the white at the bottom. So the thing that we're going to have to watch is because I glued by mistake, I have some glue stuck here in my slit. So I'm going to use my eraser, my rubber eraser that takes away the stickiness of the glue. But it also leaves some marks sometimes, so I want to get that out. Because I do not want that to be sticky. It still kind of is, so I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Just because we don't want our buckle to, and that would only happen because I did it the wrong way. I'm going to work on it again to get some of that color off of there. Okay, not sticky, and it doesn't look too dirt. Sometimes when you use your eraser, it gets a little dirty looking. You have to work at it to get all those little crumbs off. Okay, so now I think we're ready. Let's just see if, now I have them on my fingers, so let me work on that. So I think this is going to work now. You just kind of want to slide it underneath this piece. Things never work when you're on camera like they do when you're off camera. There we go. It just kind of barely fits in there, but that's okay. It keeps your front down. Then the next thing I did was I took textured notes and I took, made a lemon lolly layer and then a white layer. This is Hello Friends from Storybook Friends, because I needed a small saying for the middle of this. At first I tried Happy Birthday, but as we could see, Happy Birthday did not fit very well. So we switched it to Hello Friend. Gonna glue this down on the buckle. Okay, I do not have the Floral Delight stamp set because I want to stamp something over here because this looks just so plain without anything there. And it'll help you to remember that you can only write on this side. So I decided I'm just still going to go ahead and use the butterfly and lemon lolly and stamp some butterflies on that side. Lemon lolly is a very light color, so I know they're not going to show up a lot, but they'll at least give you a little place marker to know where not to write your message. And those look pretty there. And see, they might just be a little bit hidden by the flap, but they'll be fine. And the middle one will be flat, you know, hidden by the buckle when it's closed. Another thing you might want to do is, I forgot to bring my corner rounder over, but you could round the corners of your buckle, and then it might be a little bit easier to stick it in here. Oops. There we go. So there is a bright and cheery version. So I wanted to make another one just to show you from the very beginning. So we're going to use a piece of the mixed media, or mixed media paper. It's all Shy Shamrock on the back and this design on the front. So I thought we could just start from scratch. The only thing I've cut out are, I'm going to use squares this time. So let's start with our Shy Shamrock, which is going to be our card base. And it's going to be 5.5, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 1.5, and 4 1/4, 4 1/4, because that's halfway. Okay, so this is our base. Now we want to start cutting out our mats, which I decided to, since this paper has also Calypso Coral in it, we're going to use some Calypso Coral. So, the first mat we're going to cut out is the one that goes on the inside, because that's our biggest. So it is 5 1/4 by 4. So that's our first one. And then we need some to do the flap in the front there. So we're going to need, I'm reading my directions here, 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. So we want to be sure that this, I have it turned right. This is the 5 1/4 side, so I have to turn it this way. And I want it to be 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, that is correct. And then I want the next piece to be 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So see, I still have, even after I cut the mats, I still have a half a sheet and a scrap here for the mats, and a half a piece left of the Shy Shamrock. And then we want to do white, which is the inside of the card. So let's see if this will work. We need it to be 4. Oh, that piece. I usually just use scraps to do my insides if I have a big enough scrap, but obviously I do not today. Let's see. So this, oh no, see, the other side's going to be by 5 1/4, and for sure this will not work. Okay, so I have a little bit bigger than a half a sheet here. So we're going to say this is going to be 3 3/4, because we have a mat behind it. So this one might work. I know. I have plenty of paper. I just like to try to save as much as I can. So now we're going to say 3 3/4. Oh, now it's even going to cut out the circle more. Never mind. I'm going to say 3 3/4 by 5. All right, so that's for inside. Now we want to cut our DSP. I'm thinking I want to call this a directional paper, because I like it more going across than going up and down. So I'm going to turn it like this. And for the DSP, it is 2 by 5 2 by 5 and 1 by 5. And see if with the 6 by 6 piece I still have a piece big enough to do my envelope if I'd like. I have to cut these down to 5. I'm just going to cut them down together to 5. Okay, there we go. Now we have everything ready. This time I decided to do my greeting on a square. This is Stylish Shapes, stitched Stylish Shapes. First, fold my card's base in half, crease it, then crease the front flap back. Okay, so we can lay this aside till we're ready. Oh, you know what we forgot to cut? So we won't have a whole half a sheet of the coral back. Or which color should we do? Oh, okay, we should do the buckle in the Shy Shamrock. And the buckle is 1.5 by 4.5, scored at 4. So 1.5 by 4.5, scored at 4. Okay, now we're ready. So, this time if we want to, we're going to try it with putting the buckle between the 2 sheets of underneath the mat here instead of on the back of the card. So this is going to be our first thing to glue down. And then it'll be easier to measure when we go to see where we should put the slit. So I want this to be about halfway. So let's see how long this is. This is 5 1/4, 2.5. So about 2.5 is about halfway. So see, this is a good way to use your grid if you have the glass mat, or if we have some of our grid paper to help you figure out halfway on things. So now we're going to add the white to that, and it's going to kind of cover up that green. Third time's the charm. I finally remembered to do this first instead of go to the back of the card. But it does kind of show up a little bit more there than it does like on this one when you open it. But that's okay. All right, so now we have that. Now we can put this, is all ready to get put into the card base. Now, if you wanted to, you could stamp your greeting and everything onto this before you glued it to the mat, just to save you in case you made a mistake or something, because paper has 2 sides. But we're going to cross our fingers and hope I can stamp a greeting straight. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our piece of Designer Series paper here, and we're going to do like we did last time, kind of lay it in here evenly across. And we're going to see, let's lay this one down so that we can get a accurate measure here. It's to go up, I'm just trying to get it centered here, up to up and down, left and right. Okay, for some reason this looks like a little bit too long. I might have cut that. We're just gonna say the buckle was supposed to be by 4.5, but maybe I cut it a little bit longer. I don't want to use my ribbon scissors, so I'm just gonna cut it off a bit. I'm just about 1/4 of an inch too long, so maybe I measured wrong, or I put it on the inside instead of the outside there. That could account for that too. So this is the hardest part of this whole card, I think, getting your slot in the right spot. So now we know that this is where it's going to be, so we're going to take our pencil and we're just going to put a little mark here where we want the bottom of the slit to go, and I'm going to go cut that this time before I glue it down. Be sure it's straight. Okay, now we're going to glue this down to the mat. See, I have this magnetic thing that Gina, the upline here in Waynesville, gave me for Christmas, and it just holds all my little dies so I don't lose them, because I'm really bad about coming over, putting it down, and then it gets swished away with paper when I'm cleaning up and stuff, and then I have to go look for them. So it's very convenient. We just want to put a little bit of line of glue behind it there, so we'll hold down that part, and we are going to adhere this to our mat. Like I said, if you don't want mats on them, you can always just cut these your DSP 1/4 of an inch longer and wider, and then you wouldn't need a mat. It's all up to you. We're going to add this one right here. Yep, our buckle will fit. I did not glue that side down, did I? I don't know what it is with me today and putting my glue on the wrong spots. I just got done saying, I'm not going to put my glue in the wrong spot this time. And I did. But a good old embossing buddy will help me there. So this will fit. Oh, I'm going to have to work on this better with a little bit more of my embossing buddy. Okay, so it's going to fit in there, but we don't want to leave it in there too long until I get more of the glue off. And then we're going to add this to here. You know, I can sit here all day like I did yesterday, making up my sample and stuff, and then cutting out for my next one, and everything will just cut out perfect. Everything will be great. Then I go to make a video and I forget steps. I guess besides the measurements, I should write down my steps. Okay. Then this is our tag. This time we're using Hello from the Beautiful Butterfly set. And I guess I will stamp it in Shy Shamrock, which is an in color from last year, so we still have another year with them. I really like the new in colors from this year. Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, Cloud Cover, Secret Sea, and I think I'm missing one. Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, and Summer Slush. That's the one. That used to be an in color before and it came back. Okay, so I'm just going to tap here and get my hello and try to get in the middle here. And I did pretty good. So we'll add this piece to here. We'll add this piece to the buckle. Just want to kind of put glue in the middle here because it goes up and above the buckle just a little. We're going to put it, I'm going to put it so it kind of covers evenly this flap here. Okay. And now we will stamp some butterflies in. Let's do our butterflies in Calypso Coral. I forgot to put the embellishments on my yellow card. I have them laying right here. So as soon as I finish this, I'll put them on. So I want one there. And I want one down here. And I want one kind of in the middle. Right there. So, I know I'm not going to put that in there until I will work on getting the glue off that piece when I sign off from here. So, let's add the embellishments to this. Let me see. I have them laying here. For this one, I have the new in colors because I thought we could use Shy Shamrock because that would really pop on this designer paper. Let me find my Pick-a-Tool. I'm going to use these 3 little ones all by themselves down here. Let me put, well, see, even the embellishments don't like to cooperate with me when I do a live. Okay, we have one there. And one here. And we're going to put one right with the hello. Right up here. As soon as I get it off my finger. Did you see the other one came off that I had down here in the corner? I'm not sure why. But we'll put it back here in the corner. If we could get it to flip over a little. There we go. I have a terrible time with them when they flip over. That's because it must not have any glue left on the back of it. So I'm just going to put a dot of glue down here. Just a teeny weeny drop. It doesn't take much. If I was using a bigger one, the bigger one, I could have used a glue dot. And then I have some Shy Shamrock ribbon here. As soon as I find it, and mix all my other colors. Oh, I haven't used very much of it. And I'm just going to tie it around here. And make a knot bow. I always like to add ribbon embellishments and some Wink of Stella to my cards when I'm finished, just to kind of dazzle them up a little. Okay, I'm going to trim this at an angle. Trim this one at an angle. Now I made this a little loose on here, so you know, to fix that, I'm going to find my glue dots, which are not in their place. Where could the glue dots be if they're not in their place? Well, I have some glue dots left over from one of the kits, so we're going to use these. I'm just going to pick it up, and I'm going to place this down right here. I'm going to take the backing off, and then I'm going to stick the knot right on that glue dot. That way it will hold it right there, even if it's a little bit too big. And I would put some Wink of Stella either on my tag or maybe on my butterflies. But let's get this one fixed up. This one, I made myself a little yellow bow out of the yellow twine that's in the catalog because I see a little smear here and I wanted to hide it. So again, I'm going to take one of these glue dots from the kit. After you do a kit, you always have some leftover glue dots, so it's a good thing to save them to use on your other projects. Take the paper off, that leaves the glue dot. And now I see that I have a mark right here. I must have just got that. So we'll use the glue eraser. These really come in handy, because sometimes my fingers get gluey and I don't realize it. Okay, and for this one I have some yellow sequins here. This is how I keep my embellishments. It's really to hold a passport, but it's the perfect size for the different containers of them. And then it's much easier for me to look through them. They're all stacked up in a little box I have over here. So we're going to use these yellow ones here. We're going to put one down here. That one just topped right on my finger. This one may be up here. And another one down here in this corner. Always work with odd numbers on your embellishments. Okay, so here are our 4 cards we made today. Or 3 cards, sorry. Let me move all this and I'll put these in here. There we go. There's that one. There's this one. And there's this one. So 3 different designs for it. Well, not designs, but 3 different color combinations for you. I hope that you like this. And if you happen to make a buckle card, then put it in the comments, because we all like to see what other people are making. And I hope you have a great afternoon. Bye.